The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my fuselage. So to do that, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on my Create tab, go click on Cylinder, and from my front viewport, I'm going to click and drag out a cylinder. And I'm just going to go in and get a basic structure here now. So I'm going to right click, or just click and put that in place. Then I'm going to right click and turn off my cylinder. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out the front part, but I don't want to mess with my current engine. So I'm going to click on my engine here. In fact, I have not named that. It's a good thing to name your components. You can see it's box 001. So I'm going to name that engine. And then I'm going to go ahead and name my fuselage instead of cylinder. I'm just going to name it fuse or fuselage. And begin to work on that. Now to freeze my engine, I'm going to just select it, right click on it, go and say freeze selection, and you see it turns gray now. So now no matter what I do, I'm not going to mess up my engine. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to now click on my fuselage, right click, convert to editable poly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to build out the front part of my engine. So I'm just going to rotate this out, click on my polygon component up here. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to click on bevel because I'm going to bevel out the front. So I'm going to select that front polygon there, click and drag up, and then drag it down to a little bit of a point. Now I'm not going to drag it to a total point because later on if I decide to turn on NURMS, I need to make a little bit of a lip here at the end, or else NURMS will just go ahead and suck everything back in. I can choose other smoothing techniques, but even with that, it still helps if you create just a little tip at the end. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my move, and I'm going to drag that straight down because I'm going to give it kind of an angled. Now notice I can modify this later because notice it's kind of short in the front. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to lock it just to make sure I don't hit any other polygons there. And I'm just going to click and just drag it from my left viewport because I don't want it to angle crooked. Pull it out like that, and then I'm going to kind of drag it down just a little bit more, something like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on my pan view at the bottom there and just going to drag it over so I can see the front end. And then I'm going to go ahead and make that little bit of a lip there. So I'm going to click on bevel one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it locked. Click and just drag it up just a little bit. Release my mouse. Drag it down to go to somewhat of a point, and that will really help if I use NURMS later on. So I'm going to turn off polygon here, go ahead and unlock it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to build the back side of it, because this is going to be where the engine exhaust comes out, because the engine is basically going to be structured to where you import your inlets here, and then it's going to exhaust is going to come out here for the jet. So I'm going to click on polygon here, click on that back polygon there, lock it just so that don't have any problems with selecting the wrong polygon. Click bevel, just bevel it out, release my mouse, bevel it down, something like that. Now I'm going to rotate this a little bit just so I see the back. Now I'm going to make a little bit of a lip here as well, so I'm going to leave that selected, click, drag it up just a teeny bit, release my mouse, drag it down to create a lip there, and that's going to really help if I turn NURMS on later. Then I'm going to suck this back in, so I'm going to click, drag that in like that, and I'm going to look in my left viewport there, because when I release my mouse I'm going to make it go down just a little bit, like that. You can see it kind of went down just a little bit. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to turn bevel off. And in my next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and create the wings.